And now I'm going to tell you something that in principle many people will agree with me on. It's what we see in Europe, in Monaco, in Switzerland. And here we have Trump Jr., Trump's son. He accused the Ukrainian authorities of embezzlement during the war and claimed that because of this, they are not interested in a settlement. But really? Of course they're not interested. What kind of settlement can there be? If the more money there is, the sweeter it is to send it. Where? Yeah, well, over there. Since 2013, I've been telling you how Ukrainians live in Monaco. Since 2013, when the yacht arrived, it was Khodorkovsky. No, Koroshkovsky? Yes, Koroshkovsky, the head of the SBU. Such an elegant guy, a handsome man. Yes, they appointed him as the head of the SBU. And under this pretext, he left for Monaco before he had officially resigned. He hadn't formally stepped down yet, but unofficially he almost had. And there he was, receiving yachts full of money and everything else. Yes, just like sultans receive guests, that's how he was welcoming people from all over the country there. There were Bugattis, Ferraris, and I don't know, Lamborghinis there too. Gorgeous cars. I used to walk around Monaco, and I lived there at the time, and I was happy. I really did feel proud of our people. It doesn't matter if you're Ukrainian, it doesn't matter if you're Russian. But in Monaco, all the Ukrainians and Russians get along. No one argues there. Absolutely no one. And everyone is friends with the Prince of Monaco. But he's a young guy after all. It's not the old prince, right? That old prince still had old habits. And he was of that old sort too. But the young one, he's really from the younger generation. By the way, he studied in Switzerland at school. I know the school. This Prince of Monaco studied there. They didn't accept the girls. By the way, there was a situation when the girls weren't accepted. His two sisters wanted to go too, to study at the same school, but the girls weren't accepted. Only the boy was. So there you have it. He really made the most of it, became the Prince of Monaco after graduating from an elite Swiss school. So that's how it is. I want to say that, of course, Trump is right. But I don't know how many children Trump has. Here's another one speaking, and they all look alike. Of course, all his kids, same genetics. You can easily tell by genetics. These bastards? Well, in this case, it's Trump with the last name. And those who are divins, well, go ahead and say divin, not Trump. Well, he's a Trump too. Just as much a Trump as the one who's speaking now. So here's what he writes. This summer, I was in Monaco with my girlfriend. We were driving around the area, and on average, 50% of the supercars each day, like Bugatti, Ferrari, had Ukrainian license plates. Do you really think that money was earned in Ukraine? I was in Ukraine 20 years ago. It's not like that country is overflowing with wealth. Besides, you see, like the second person, countries are arresting people for stealing hundreds of millions of dollars. The exceedingly wealthy individuals have completely fled. They deliberately left behind those they contemptuously consider mere peasants to bravely fight their battles. And they see no reason to stop as long as the flow of money continues and they keep stealing it. That's what Trump Jr. says. A flow of money? And who provides this flow of money? Everyone knows who is stealing and who isn't. It's all known. Why would you stay at the top if you're not stealing? You're not a real official if you're not stealing. No one needs you if you're not stealing. Do you understand what's going on? So people realize that you have to steal, and without it, if you're poor, you're useless to anyone. And if you're in a wealthy position, cut it short. The fact that now they're exposing this, whether it's the second person or someone else, the third, the 10th, it's all the same thing. Even if you imprison 100 of them, it won't change anything. It's obvious that people steal and take bribes in any position. I've dealt with Ukrainian authorities, I know it well. How much does everything cost? Want me to tell you? Just ask. I'll tell you. No, it's not interesting, friends. Everyone pays according to, or rather, acts according to their own money. You only earn as much as you have, right? So, or rather, you pay and give away what you have. So about that Bugatti, yes, friends, the entire coast from Nice to Monaco. and a little further that way into Italy. Going further into Italy is already more difficult. Still, there are more Ukrainians and Russians here. I used to travel. 2013, that same year. I lived there, so I went up and down the whole coast. I traveled everywhere, different villages, up into the mountains I climbed up. And there are a lot of mountains. For example, for me to travel from one city, from Monaco, let's say, to the other end toward Nice. No, I never made it all the way to Nice. I don't really like that city for some reason. I don't know why. If you like, I don't know, Saint-Tropez. I went to Saint-Tropez. At one point, I wanted to buy Aznavor's villa. We went to take a look at it with my husband back then. Aznavor's villa, it was, well, literally like a little stone cup. That's how it was built. And it went deep inside, underground. Some kind of children's dungeon. I don't know what you were supposed to pay for there. But the location, yes. All of them, the Hollywood stars, they all gathered in one place there. And they built their own little restaurant. The restaurant was called Shakami. It was a good little restaurant. I haven't been there in a long time, so if anyone goes there now, please let me know how good that restaurant still is. They were so delighted that I visited them. I was led into the kitchen. The restaurant's benefactor led me into the kitchen. He showed me how clean their kitchen was. Showed me everything else. What a service. Then they sat us in the center of the hall. And they still couldn't understand why they were running around like that, all the waiters around. And they asked if we liked everything. Well, yes. Bouillabaisse. We ate bouillabaisse there. The best bouillabaisse. There was a restaurant in Shakami at that time. So one day I was traveling. I left after lunch, late, after 4. Yes, no, well, I guess I left at about 3 o'clock. And I'm going. I decided to take a new road and go through the mountains. Of course, I got lost. Well, I don't know the area that well. And back then, well, yes, sure, there was GPS, but not as good. It didn't really work back then, friends. After all, every year things are different for us. There was GPS, but it wasn't the same GPS as now. Now you have satellite navigation, but back then it worked differently, that feature, with the service. So I got lost, and I didn't know where to go. I went this way and that way. I could feel something was off. I'm up on a hill, high up. I need to go down. I started going down, and there was some village. Finally, at least not a forest, at least a village. And so I kept going in circles, back and forth, back and forth. And there are 4 exits from the roundabout. I have no idea which way to go. I stopped at one of the exits, right at the edge of the roundabout. I see a woman driving. She stops and says to me in Russian, "Where are you going?" I say, well, thank God I finally found a living soul and one who speaks Russian too. My license plates are Swiss, not Russian. Well, I must have looked so lost, like a stray sheep, that she realized this Russian woman was lost at the roundabout. Lost in these parts, in a Jeep, in a Range Rover. So, well, what can I say? Trump's son is certainly right. That all the coolest cars are Russian-speaking. But as soon as I left, friends... Wow, when? 100 years ago. I left back in the last century. No, we are not refugees of this horse. No, that was last century, friends. I am Tanya Karatsuba, Seidburkan. Have a nice evening, good mood. Don't hang your head. There is always something to laugh about, even at ourselves. Today is the 8th. What do we have? December 2025. Christmas. Get your gifts ready. Prepare gifts for your loved ones. It's such a beautiful holiday. Ding ding dong.